inspiration is hard to explain. It's hard to compute because our brains build relationships between really strange things. Machines just don't see inspiration the way we do. My aim for this very short talk is to show how developments in AI can inspire our own creativity in just around 8 minutes. So, let's try and interrogate the amazing relationship between humans and music. If we try to do so, we actually get surprising origins. For example, Gershwin, that sound that you just heard, this was inspired by the sound of a clarinet warming up at the orchestra. I like to think of it as his prompt. It hit at just the right moment, mixed with his musical education, the socio-economic climate at the time, and everything that he grew up in, all that he was exposed to. His training data helped write Rhapsody in Blue. Like Gershwin, we're made up from our training data too. My particular training model is enriched with a neurological condition called synesthesia. My senses are completely mixed together. My brain makes unexpected connections. I see color when I hear sound, and I hear music when I eat things. It also lets me remember most songs that I've ever heard, and I can play them on the piano. I haven't learned anything specifically, I can just kind of play it. So most ABBA songs kind of are like that's like a greeny blue and yellow colour. And listening to formulaic pop music is a bit like eating icing sugar. It's like eating sugar. It's nice, but it's not really substantial. And the Beatles taste like iced buns. For me, everything has a note. The key that you're speaking in, the noise of the train, the sound of the air conditioning. Now, people ask me what it's like to see music. And this is the closest I've got with the help of Runway ML. It's a video-generating AI model. Sound shows up on a giant imaginary 3D IMAX screen. It's superimposed across my field of vision. Pitch, tone, and instrument, it's all 3D. And I can query this grid to listen back to what I've just heard, move it around in front of me, and the colors are matched more to pitch than what we're looking at here. Now imagine growing up and thinking everyone's brain was the same as this, but they were better at handling life. And that's where I was. I wondered why loud noises overwhelmed me and why mixed together food didn't bother anyone else. I struggled at restaurants if the wallpaper was really tactile or the music didn't match. But those immediate associations I had between the senses were likely contributing to some remarkable skills that I have, like music, pattern recognition, and strangely, an incredibly astute sense of taste and smell. I think that's why I'm fascinated by AI, by the way, because how models are trained is such a subjective thing, and it deeply affects the output. Most human musical training these days, what we hear on TikToks, TV shows, they're based on Western European music, tuning, and rhythm. Even though there's so much more to choose from, our musical taste in general, globally, is dictated by technology. For example, choruses start earlier because we're more impatient, and that's thanks to streaming music and the need to swipe. But throughout these technological advancements, most popular songs follow a well-worn format. Simple chord sequences that make us feel comfortable. The most well-known of these is these. It's the chord on the first note, the fifth note, the sixth note, and then the fourth note. It doesn't take much to impress us, really, musically. The thing is within these chords, there's a lot of freedom. Many songs are based on this. In fact, if you saw the Axis of Awesome YouTube clip, you'll know the four-chord songs. They fit songs like don't stop believing, hold on to that feeling, and can you feel the love tonight? Never mind, I'll find someone like you. Oh, don't be fooled, there's the variation as well. Let's see. Can't read mine, no, you can't read my poker face, poker You can blow my whistle, baby, let me know. So wake me up when it's all over. Even time to say goodbye. You get the idea, okay? Thank you. Okay, so what if I told you that the Spice Girls and Marvin Gaye have the same chords in a different order? Like, I worked this out the other day. If you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. And when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. Wow! Now, not everyone can pick that out, even musicians, but finding similar chord sequences is exactly the sort of problem that machines solve for, because they don't get distracted. When we see machines playing humans at chess, they sometimes win because their strategies aren't restricted to human strategies. On the other hand, humans intrinsically understand the sound, the feel of an artist, something most machines struggle with. Take the Beatles, who I know have a connection to this very city. Yes, no coincidence there. We instantly know a Beatles song, even though their songs are so varied. Like Ticket to Ride. It's joyful, it's easy, it's fast, right? Songs like Eleanor Rigby even are more complex. It's got thoughtful lyrics and complex timing and things. And songs like Imagine, they're slow and thoughtful. So humans recognize all of those as Beatles songs, even though the data that we use to understand this isn't in the music, it's in us. We recognize those similarities, but the data set is so wide, getting a machine to do it, it just sounds impossible. Still, in 2020, this is AI-generated Beatles singing Call Me Maybe.
I just met you.
It took 10 hours of processing for me to do this, and a fair few weeks following a tutorial and failures. The AI isn't playing back a song, it's generating it in tiny, tiny slices. It has to understand how to synthesize Beatle units and combine them to make a tune. Now, nowadays, you can type a single sentence into Google Music LM and you get music in under a minute. I made about 100 tracks. These are 3 of the best ones. It took just hardly any time. Most AI-generated tools for music do really well for 30 seconds before they go a bit weird. And they don't step out of Western European 4/4 time. By the way, some tools don't allow users to enter text, like play this song in the style of the Beatles or Beethoven. But it's relatively easy. It's relatively easy to type things like late 60s rock pop band to get what you want. It's a kind of prompt injection, getting past the machine's original rules. Now, at this point, I can talk so much more about the issues facing AI just using music, from prompt engineering to algorithmic bias. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to be explaining this and more at the Reeperbahn Festival. I might see some of you there. But for reasons of time, I'm going to end with something fundamental about how we teach each other. Because no matter what your level of musical training, I'm certain that you know exactly what these sentences mean. But it's a lot to explain to machines. They need concrete examples of what funky and not funky means in a musical context. And that depends on the human entering the data, doesn't it? So that's why we need to make sure as many humans as possible are represented. Diversity improves the model. So this is where we are at AI Music right now. It's great at simple musical extrapolation. This is my classical version of Despacito. And because we've taught the AI 4 chords, it gets this right. I only gave it the melody and it fills it in. But anything different, creative, or challenging, it doesn't do. Billie Eilish, Bob Marley, Bohemian Rhapsody won't be coming out anytime soon. So my call to you, audience, is court experiences. Go get them, because the effort is rewarded by flexible thinking. Becoming unstuck it takes work, but with that comes great reward. Try a new dish, paint, dance, learn the piano like you've always wanted. Widening our training data consciously will give us all the chance to think outside those four chords. Thank you.